Happy Valentine, guys. We're going to be cracking into some good stuff today. That is a live Q&A calls, and the reason I'm laughing is that I actually did it publicly after quite a long time, and I actually am a bit nervous because I'm not used to having so many people show up on these calls. So if you don't know, we do live Q&A call where you can actually jump in, you can see my screen, I can see your screen if you give me the permission, of course, and we can have a chat. You can also use your typewriter. Nobody uses typewriters these days. You can use your keyboard to send me a question, or you can unmute yourself and chat with me live, and I'll basically be explaining how I conduct market research. So in the following segment, you're going to see me, thinking how I go about releasing a plugin. For example, I have a demo plugin that we're making in the Project Orion training program. It has a lot of features, namely menus, custom monsters, and stuff like that. Pretty damn cool. And we have Project Orion training program, which is quite a big of a course. And by the way, you can of course read the entire website, mineacademy.org/project/Orion, if you want to get to know the program. And I think that the following excerpt is going to be from the very last part of the course, which has been added just recently, just a couple of months ago, that is about premium resource sales. And by the way, if you want to, go much deeper, much into greater depth, then I do recommend you check the course out, because in that excerpt, I'm just going to be scratching the surface, but basically, I'm going to be explaining how I go about picking a niche and then conducting a market research. And these videos, should you be interested, in doing that, we also give away different worksheets. So in the live call, I do not give any worksheet, but as you can see right here, there is you're gonna get a lot of notes, right? I don't want to scroll to the bottom because this is reserved for for our customers, but you can see that there is an entire, almost an hour-long segment on doing that, and you can get resources. So again, enjoy the show, and if you want to learn more about Project Orion and make amazing plugins and make a lot of money selling them, or perhaps this is not what you want, you just want to get really good at Java and making Minecraft plugins and customizing the hell out of your server, then, check the course out, and I'll see you in the other side. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's special Mine Academy live Q&A call. Tonight is a public broadcast. Typically, these calls are only available for our insider students. However, tonight, I wanted to also walk you through something new. A lot of people have been asking how to conduct a market research. How can I pick what plugin do I want to publish on the marketplace? How can I generate ideas? And how can I simply select, the best approach? So I'm going to show you how I think when it comes to releasing new paid plugins. And I'm just going to be sharing my screen and walking you through step by step. We're going to be having Spigot MC open. We're going to be having Build by Bit open, and we're going to do everything together. And also, of course, in the meanwhile, I'll keep an eye on the chat. If you guys have any coding questions, just drop them in and I'll answer them as always. Just to give you guys, those guys that are new, a couple of words at the very beginning. We at Mine Academy run these live Q&A calls 2 times per week, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and every Saturday the same time. Time zone is in Europe, Budapest, basically Central European time zone. And these live calls will help our students answer questions they might have regarding the content. They also typically just get themselves unmuted. They wanted to speak with me. If you have a microphone, you can. If you don't want to speak with me, that's fine too. I'll show you how to get help in a second. And you can also share your screen and I can have a look at your code, which is really, really cool. So, a couple of house rules tonight. First things first, I'll spend maybe 10-15 minutes just giving you a little, presentation on how I conduct market research. By the way, this is new because typically we don't have any content prepared for today's calls, but today I just decided to do something special because in fact I am conducting market research right now. So I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. And, in the meanwhile, after these 15 minutes, but I'll also have a look at the chat in the meanwhile. Use the chat, use the formatting, which you can see on the screen. Show me, or basically type me any questions that you might have. And after 15 minutes, I can also get people live, unmute you guys, and then have a one-on-one with pretty much every single one of you guys. We are not so many people today. So if you want me to unmute you, just type in "I have a question" in the chat, and I'll be happy to do it, and we can have a chat, and I can also give you a code review if you want to share your screen and all that good stuff. So are you guys ready? Hopefully you're prepared. All right, I see a lot of yeses, so sounds good. So basically, what I like to do when I'm about to publish a plugin and I want to, create a premium resource. By the way, I think Chat Control is one of the most downloaded plugins on Build by Bit. Actually, this is the other window. All right. So if we go to Build by Bit, you go to Resources. We're going to be starting right here, and you also need having a notepad ready. This is a simple way. So, when it comes to doing market research, a couple of things. A lot of people think that they have their amazing ideas in their heads and they try to code it, they try to put it in the code, and they spend up to what I've seen, 2 years trying to code the perfect plugin. By the way, it will never be perfect. It is never going to be finished because it is a piece of software that you always have to maintain, right? So that would be number one, what you have to be mindful about. But then the point is, if you have an idea in your head, before you spend months and even years, for God's sake, coding it, it is very important to understand if there is just a tiny bit of a chance that people are going to like it. All right? Now, for me personally, I'm not bragging. I have a huge email list. I can just ask people directly, "Hey guys, do you want to code? Do you want to see this plugin or not?" And I can just hook them up with a survey, and I can obviously get a decent number of people actually applying with their email address, giving me a yes that they want to see this plugin. I'm not going to be speaking about that approach because 99% of you guys don't have an email list, and you simply don't have access to, a big sort of database of people. So I'm going to show you the approach that I did when I was starting. So you can do it obviously from home, but you can also do it if you don't have any customers yet. So we have some new people pouring in tonight. Those are guys that are new. I'm going to be doing a special live Q&A call today, which includes a part that is happening right now where I'm going to show you how I go about publishing and conducting market research before I even want to publish premium plugins. So very important to keep in mind, do not start coding until you are not exactly 100% certain, but until you have a couple of points that will confirm that you're about to make a bank, you're about to make some sales, because otherwise a lot of you guys are just going to be wasting your time. So what I like to do, very obvious, and a lot of these steps will be simple, but you'll be surprised how many people actually don't do it. So first things first, you have to go and actually open up a site where you're going to be selling. I'm just going to give you an analysis of Build by Bit and Spigot MC. And then you can see right here, we have plugins opened. And then down here, you can use the search function. So what I like to do, I like to hit paid, and then I like to sort it by downloads. Now, a couple of things here. Please note this little feature right here. We're just going to be ignoring those because these plugins have been paid to be placed on the top. So it has nothing to say about the downloads, right? And here, you can just start typing in, maybe in a notepad, just to get a general understanding of the team of the plugins that are being sold to. So we have we have the tab plugin, but really the entire feature of this plugin is, I would say, tags, right? Because it's just adding the tags to tab list, boss bar, scoreboard. So it's adding, tags, animated, information or displays, something like that. And we have dungeons, and then we have anti-hack, and you can already see there's 2 anti-hacks plugins, and they're very, very top, right? And then we have economy plugin, we got a core plugin, and so you just gotta think for yourself. There's 2 economy plugins, and do a market research. Maybe go through like 5-10 pages of those, and you already start to notice, a couple of patterns. Right? We have anti-cheat right here. And then we have probably more of those anti-cheats. Also a couple of Spigot force. I'm not going to comment on this one. I don't think it's a good idea if you guys do that. Items adder, that's model 3D, model plugins. And I think there's more. I think I just missed one, or probably not. I think there is one more that's called custom models, and I also spotted it somewhere. And you can see, anti-cheat once, anti-cheat twice, and there's also NYX. That can be considered, maybe if I close my eyes, as an anti-cheat. So anti-cheat 3. And right now you can sort of see which plugins are being sold. Obviously, this analysis is a bit limited because we only sort of opened the first marketplace. But what you can also do, you can go to Spigot and you can basically do the same approach, right? And excuse me. And you can also see the patterns right here. Although what I like to do, and you can obviously do it on MC Market too, but I think Spigot has a better user interface for that. You can actually open up a calculator, and you can calculate sort of how many years have passed and how many downloads there has been. So I'm just going to ignore the RPG stuff because I'm not interested in making an RPG. RPGs are always popular, by the way. This is a evergreen concept if you have some, but you also have to be mindful to see the year, right? So Citizens has been here forever, right? It got 18K. This has been here for 4 years. It got 26K. If you divide it, you're going to get a higher, actually much higher number on the MCMMO than you're going to get on Citizens. And what I try to do is I try to look at relatively modern plugins. So we're going to be looking at plugins up for 2020. So let me just scroll down here. And we have first one, Items Adder, very popular. It got popular really quickly. So you're just going to divide this number by 3. So that's like, 2 point something thousand downloads per year. And here's another one, Plot Squared. And, well, just 2 plugins. Okay. And then we're just going to keep scrolling. Here's an anti-cheat again. So we can just, continue this analysis. And, yeah. Model Engine, yeah, right, that's the one that I saw. So there's multiple of them. You're just gonna get the concept, right? And then if you open it, step number 1 is to just conduct like a general market view to see. Maybe I can also type something for you guys. So general market look to see which plugins are hot, and then try only analyzing plugins less than 3 years old if you want some trendy plugins, right? Because it's going to give you a nice overview of, seeing the patterns. But also evergreen resources, they can be just fine. I'm just saying if you want to spot these patterns, right? And we ended up with a couple of categories, right? Now, number 2, actually I haven't covered this. Number 3 is going to be actually like scanning the overview and seeing how they do it. But number 2 really should be you having an honest look in the mirror and saying, okay, great, what are these arenas? So what of these arenas, and then I enjoy making plugins in, and then I am good at, right? Because you have to find the overlap. If you really, really love if you enjoy making plugins in, dungeons, but their quality is not really that great, maybe it's not a good idea. Maybe you can spend, just some time improving your skill. And you gotta find the overlap. So for example, for me, I see, obviously, anti-hack, anti-cheat plugins, really popular. Now, do I enjoy making those? Hell no. Although, I do love making Confiscate, and I'm actually preparing, something similar than Confiscate, just a bigger version. Am I good at those, right? So some parts of anti-cheats I'm really, really bad, and some parts I'm really, really good, right? So you can already see, okay, I can pick the things that I want to do, right? And you're just going to end up, say, pick, 1 or 2 categories. So let's say you're going to pick dungeons, right? Also, I think custom monsters and chat is also an evergreen category. I do have plugins in both of them, and these are selling every single day for the last 5 years. This plugin is called chat control. This plugin is called Bawl. Probably many of you guys are familiar. So these are evergreen categories. That means that they're just going to sell and sell and sell. Obviously, if your plugin delivers, right? If it's good and unique and all stuff like that. So let's just say you're going to pick, Dungeon, or just going to pick core plugin. Okay. Now, okay, great. You're just going to keep it opening and have a look at the overview. And, well, I don't have any Dungeons plugin right here. I don't care. What I wanted to show you is if you notice the overview, how it looks, you're just going to have a general sort of look. What you notice here, what you see is it is, some images. I like... Personally, if I have a look at this one, some images, very easy to navigate, and it goes straight to the point. It's not like this and that and that. It's straight to the point. Break Minecraft limits. Are you sick? Blah blah blah, and then main features. Right. What I also enjoy, and I don't know if any of these plugins are gonna have it, is just having like categories of features. Okay, features are here, maybe not the best way, but you can see what this guy did. What this guy has done, basically he just linked to his GitHub from every feature, so you can go deeper. Yeah, so I like that, just nice and easy to split it out. So it's just going to give you an idea on how you should go about that. So you have done a general market research. You also picked, say, 2 categories of plugins, and then you look at the overview and take note of the recurring patterns and features that these plugins do. And then what now you should do, and maybe I'm just gonna have a look at the anti-cheats because there's just so many of them, is you're gonna have a look at the reviews, and you're going to notice, okay, see reviews. And by the way, when it comes to reviews, we're actually going to be implementing what people are complaining about. So reviews are really, really important part of our plugin development process. So we're going to be looking for complaints, especially recurring, right? And then we're going to be looking for praise, right? Again, recurring. So what do people hate and what do people love? Obviously, you want to take what works and you want to double down on it, and then you want to see what doesn't work, where people are being pissed at, and you want to fix it, right? So, maybe I can just have a look at, say, the NetDay Crasher. Should have a lot of reviews. How many reviews it has? 80 reviews. Okay, well, sounds sound. Now, build by bit, they're a little bit more loose, and they will remove bad reviews easier. So I do actually recommend maybe just using Spigot for reviews. I personally do not remove negative reviews, but I try to reach out to people. I try to say, hey, you left a negative review. I noticed that. I try to fix the problem. Maybe I offer a refund for them. I try to work with the customer so that way I don't have a lot. You can see one here, for example, and now we're just gonna notice, okay, well, anti-cheat, false positives, right? So that's obviously that's a little bit of a common sense that when you're building an anti-cheat, you're going to position your marketing, you're going to brand yourself as, as little false positives as possible. And given that every other competitor does that, you'll have to come up with something more creative. So I've seen anti-cheats come up with like AI to prevent false positives, to learn automatically, how to decrease the amount of false positive. I've also seen anti-cheats being like, okay, you can actually just it will actually just prepare every ban, every action, and then you have the judgment day, so you can basically just kick out and ban people in bulk, and you're going to review what the anti-cheat may have detected, right? So, and then you're going to somehow, teach the plugin and stuff like that. Also, you can see other thing is arrogant support. So you can also notice, how he handled the bad review. And when it comes to arrogant support, I think a lot of you guys may spend a little too much time on Discord. I personally love using GitHub. It is just phenomenally well. It's been working for us for I think 5 or 6 years now. I see no reason why you should spend day in, day out and having these notifications show up on your screen all day from Discord. It's just going to kill your mental clarity and focus. And basically, I haven't seen a lot of people complain about our, ticket system on GitHub. So if you want to have great support, I think maybe just using GitHub at the very start if you're starting out. And of course, if you, later grow, sure, you can open up your Discord server. Maybe as a start, should just be GitHub. Okay, so you get the point. You're gonna read the reviews, notice the patterns. Fly for 2 seconds works. So okay, well, fly anti-cheat here already, so it's gonna give us some clue, right? And then you're going to actually start developing. Now, this is the final step because I know that I'm talking. I'll take your questions in a minute, but if you have any questions, just pop them into chat. The last step is to actually create an outline. And for that, I simply recommend using MindMeister tool. And I can actually show you this tool that I've created for my plugin chat control, or Bass for that regard. By the way, everything that you see here is real, and I've actually created this to sell and to develop and to sell the Bass plugin 2 years ago or 18 months ago. So I'm not just making these things up. These are actual real data that have been tested by 18 months of customers. And as I told you, Bass is making us sales every single day. It is one of the most popular plugins. And before I made it, I simply conducted an analysis. Just like that one, I simply open up all of the custom monsters plugins. I've looked at all their features, all their complaints, and then, ultimate step is I jumped into MindMaster. By the way, this tool is free if you want to have 1 or 2 mind maps totally for free. And then you simply started, type in your plugin name, and then you can start dividing that plugin into different sections. So I have the skill system, right? And then the subset of it is, okay, I want my skills to be configurable. There is, if you have an idea, oh, I want lingering potion skill. Okay, great. Boom, put it down, right? And then you have the fight. So how the boss should be fought. You got the action bar feature during the fight, damage modifiers, engagement. So the boss have different commands being executed during the fight and stuff like that. And then we have the death feature. And then, also boss old version did not support these 2 monsters. So I made sure to add support in the boss release number 4. And then you have spawning feature, quite big, and you can see how I kind of split it right here, right? And then what is really nice is when you start to work on this in MindMaster, I'm actually just show this to you. I can't really see because I have a camera there. Okay, that should be better. When you start to work on that, what I like to do, I just like to simply put a little check mark right here. See? So as you progress on these features, first of all, you know that these features are probably something that the people will want and they're going to buy it. But then it's very easy to sort of see yourself how much you have left of that plugin by simply putting emojis and then just, ticking off these features. So it may seem ridiculously simple, but I'm really surprised that a lot of people don't have a process for that. And again, guys, this process does not require you to be a big, popular plugin author. You can just be basically starting out. I used this process with minimum change ever since high school, basically. So it doesn't require any email list. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to do anything. Anybody can follow this process. So let me know in the chat if you learned something new, at least a little bit, if you have any questions about it and how you liked it. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to be opening up it and reading the questions. So I'm Real Cloud. All right, that's a good name. Has a question. Currently selling high quality prison setups with good success. I'm interested in making plugins for them, but I'm very unmotivated in coding. Minecraft motivates me, but sitting down and watching a Mine Academy video is very struggling for me. Don't let me wrong, it's not about a course. I simply don't feel coding. I don't want to give up, but I feel it very seriously. Right. That's a good question. I had a crisis in 2019, I think, or 2018-19. Basically, didn't make any plugin. I I had a big gap. For 2 years, I didn't create any plugin, right? Last year I didn't because I was really busy with courses. The year before I did make balls. Then before that I made chat control, recode. But before that I just had a major dip. And well, obviously I was busy making courses, but I really wanted to make a plugin and I didn't because I simply didn't feel the push, right? So I can really relate to it, and yeah, this is a problem. So what I would advise is sort of change the mindset around it. Go from, oh, I have to make a plugin, or maybe I want to. Instead of you do that, just focus on doing tiny steps, every single day. Instead of you like, okay, I have to start making this plugin this week. How about you set the intention to spend 15 or 20 minutes per day, just making just 15 lines of code or 50 lines of code for that regards, right? Just every single day, and it has a snowball effect. Okay, at least that really helped me when I was working on chat control. The beginnings were very tough because it was after 2 years that I didn't make a single plugin. And I remember, like, for me, the ball got going and it took us forever to release the plugin, right? So I think like February 2020, I had somebody else start working on the plugin. June, it was still not finished. July, it was released. It was totally broken. I had to actually fire that person. And then August, I started to work on it. December, I released it. December. And actually, like, they didn't let me publish it on Spigot. And then I broke the rules, got banned. So all the drama associated with it. So it took us almost like 10, 11 months to do it. And I really feel it. But one thing that I want to say, if you stick with it every single day, you are going to get somewhere. Whereas opposite, if you say, okay, well, today I have to spend like 6-7 hours, you don't. You're just going to burn out quickly, right? If you have problems with that, just schedule it in tiny incrementals. Also, if you're going to use this is the first advice. Number 2 advice, use something like that. Use something like this MindMaster tool. It's just going to make things for you so much cleaner. And instead of you being like frustrated because, oh my God, I have to do so much and I don't know what to start, you're just going to know, okay, I have so many things to do. And then you simply start, say, from this very feature, right? And then the intention of the day, you don't have to watch Mind Academy video. You don't have to do anything. The intention of the day is to create a boss that is baby, right? Create a baby boss, right? Just a very tiny intention. And you'll notice that it doesn't eat so much of your motivation because now your brain is focused on that tiny feature which it perceives to be relatively easy, as opposed to you trying to force yourself into creating this big plugin. And also, there is, of course, a couple of tools that we have in Mind Academy. In the core training, the truth about seeing the metrics. This is a really awesome video. By the way, it's nothing to do about coding. It's just about how I built Mind Academy and like what tools did I use. I highly suggest you check it out. Although it's a bit longer, it doesn't matter because it's really gonna give you clarity. And then here is something called the power map. Now, I do suggest you try every one of these tools, but if you're shorter time, if you're busy, you can just use the power map. And this basically little miraculous tool I still use to this day. I have it right here. I just call it VorMap. So this tool basically lets you plot your progress on your plugin, right? If you're feeling, oh my God, like again, losing motivation, what you can do, okay, well, you can look at the MindMaster, which is here, and then you can simply plot the different features into different days, right? So today I'm just going to create baby feature, right? The other day I can create, I don't know, potion effects. And you'll just see very nicely how you're progressing. And for me, I get a lot of motivation from that, just seeing the progress, just like building my confidence because I did something and I do it continuously. And you're going to get sort of that winner effect. You're going to be on a high. And if you see yourself, wow, I've spent the last 14 days, every single day, just chipping away from it, I promise you, your motivation is not going to be like this, but it's actually going to stabilize yourself. It's going to be more stable. And then you can actually push through and make something beautiful. All right. So I hope I answered your question. Yeah, by the way, a lot of our students are busy. They don't have time to watch and sit with our courses forever. So the new course, I don't know if you checked the latest version of it. We just made the videos much shorter, like 7 minutes or 13 minutes, right? Even the micro videos, they tend to be like 2 hours, 3 hours long. And now it's like half an hour, 20 minutes, 17 minutes, right? 19, 14 minutes, even so, NMS packets. So yeah, it's just that course is just going to be much easier than the last one for you. All right. Cool. Jack says, thank you for showing us the process. Yeah, sure. Jack says, I sent a post on Mine Academy Hub. Okay. Real Cloud says, I also have a little book for taking notes. That's great. Yeah, I do use Evernote, but if you have a paper book, that's great too. Okay, so I need help using default files. All right, and Jack needs help with this. So hello, I've run into an issue and I was wondering if anyone could help. Created settings, turret settings. And the problem is I'm trying to add specific values depending on the turret type. How can I use one of those textures for each type when the file gets created, instead of always use the same one? Let me just think. It's a bit of a longer question. So you have turret settings and you have 3 types of turrets. Is that right? And then yeah, and then for these 3 turrets, every single one of these turrets is supposed to have a unique texture. Is that right? Do I understand it correctly? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, one solution, as you answered, should be just create different keys. That works too. You can also allow players to add custom keys, although if you do that, you're not going to have comments support. Okay, that's currently how that works. So that's one solution, as you noticed. I don't know if we have game. I think I dealt with a similar problem when I created mini games in Project Orion training. So Bed Wars. Yeah, Bed Wars has, basically it is inheriting settings from the game, which is like a core class deep down inside, and the core class has, different settings, minimum players, maximum players, and then every single other minigame has these settings as well. That's why the class extends that. But also Bed Wars, excuse me, has custom settings right here. So what you could do is you could use the similar structure. So you have the turret settings as like a base class, and then you have the fire, beam, arrow as 3 different classes. And then here in each class, you have the same key, but because these are 3 different classes, they override the underlying class, right? Are you understanding what I'm trying to explain right here? So you simply need 3 different classes, and they all can have the same key, but it's going to be unique because every file only belongs to a single class. And then you have to check out the course, how we load these classes, basically. Because I don't remember exactly. I think there's a game loader somewhere. Loaded files, yeah. So we get the type, and we store the type. So for you, it's going to be turret type. It's going to be an enum, and a little bit of reflection right here to create a new instance of that. And then basically, we're just going to split it into 3 different classes. Each one has a texture. And then the default is going to be, get string, texture. So for that, if you're using this very approach, I think it should be possible to create comments and put the texture right in the files. somewhere here. Okay, you can load it from your files. Somewhere. And then you can just use the, okay, onload. Oh, load configuration is right here. Okay, so you may want to play around with it. You may want to copy this and place it into these 3 different classes. The load configuration, which, by the way, those of you guys that are new, that don't have Project Orion, I teach people how to code plugins using Spigot, which you guys are familiar with, but we also have an enchanted system called Foundation, and this specific plugin uses Foundation. Reason being, it just reduces the amount of code. Very simple. Contains, you know, features such as auto config updating, serialization. If you don't know what that is, you can basically convert like a big complicated class into something you can save into a file and stuff like that. That's why I'm using that. So that's why these methods may not be familiar with for you guys. So Jack, you can basically copy the loader into these 3 different classes and then basically just change the sort of prototype folder. And the default is going to be, I don't know, template, fire, turret, right? And here the other one is going to be the other types. And you're just going to create a new folder called template, inside of which you can have these 3 turrets. So that's one solution. The other solution is just to use the default. We can see right here, path, and then the default you can put right here, right? So there's 2 solutions, but also 3, the one that you've shown. Yeah, so I hope that helps. Perfect, thank you a lot. Sure, if you have any other questions, just pop them in. Answered via live call since we... Yeah, and we don't have a notifications feature because I'm just working on that for that portal. By the way, those of you guys that again are new, we have a custom build community system called Mine Academy Hub, which we opened last year, which is simply a place where people can post right here. They can post different questions and then you can engage with it. 33 comments, you know, people are engaging with that. And yeah, the only thing that is missing right now is like notifications so that it's going to basically pop in the corner, and here also the bell is going to ring, and you know, dogs are going to bark and everything's going to be nice when we have that. All right, so that's that. If you guys have any other question, make sure to pop it in. Otherwise, I'll be just ending the call. By the way, happy Valentine. I'll be also doing a minor sale today, the Valentine's sale. If you want to get Project Orion at a minor discount, I think we're just going to go down maybe $50 or something. And yeah, so if you want to get Project Orion for discount for Valentine, then I don't even have any slides prepared because I didn't really want to make this Q&A call into a sales pitch. But what you can do, you can just type in mineacademy.org/project-orion, and by, I think in a couple of hours, you'll see a countdown here. Or also, yeah, so what you can do if you go to mineacademy.org and you just want to get a notification when the sale drops, at the bottom of Mine Academy, put your email right here, and you're going to see it. You're going to get the email when the sales drops. And yeah, so this is the page. Again, you can check it out later. This Q&A call is to give you guys as much value. I don't want to, pitch you guys. If you want to check it out, check about the course, then you can obviously read the website and, yeah, also ask people in our community. And Jack asks also, is there a way to save a specific block and make sure it doesn't disappear if the server doesn't get stopped properly? Okay, so you mean specific block as like a tile entity? Tile entities are like furnace, anvil, chest. Any type of block. Okay. I mean, you could typically just call bucket.save or world.save. Maybe that's not appropriate because it can produce a lot of lag if you're doing that, often. You can also look at getting the block state. So block dot get state, and you can then maybe serialize that state. You are gonna be required to use the latest Minecraft release to do that. I can just show you this. Doesn't take that long. So block save. By the way, yeah, Java conventions, right? Yeah, so you have a block somewhere and you know how to get the instance of it. And then what you can do, you can get a state of the block. And then I think there should be a way to convert it into something which you can save on your disk. Get block data, get a string, probably. Yeah. All right. I'm Real Cloud says, really cool experience. I appreciate it, man. So yeah, so you can basically get this blocks data. Now, I do think this requires a Minecraft 1.13 and higher. And then, so this is how you save it, and you can save it to your disk. You can write it as, you know, JSON or YAML part of your config. And then to load it, you can basically use bucket.create block data, probably, right? So this is the JSON string, and you can save the JSON string anyhow. And then you can simply load it, and then there should be a way to convert it, by the way, back into a block. Create block data. All right. Can I do set block data? Yes, I can. Okay, so then you're just gonna call block set block data. And by the way, anything is a block, even air. So you can just get the block using bucket, and then you're gonna load the data and set the data. So this is how you can sort of create like a backup mechanism to make sure the blocks don't disappear if the server doesn't get stopped properly. And then if the server gets started, then you know, you can just fall back and load these blocks in that emergency way. By the way, people have been using this for many other purposes too. Now, how you should sort of know if the server did save or not. Well, if you're calling, you know, there's many ways how to check that. Maybe you can store a time of the last save, and you know that there should be a save every 10 minutes. And you can compare if the last save time has been longer than 10 minutes, then, you know, something happened, the server crashed or something. That's the best way, I think. So I'm just going to show you one way because I don't want to confuse you. So yeah, maybe you can just store the time of the last save somewhere. And the time you can update if you call, you know, bucket or this method, right? And then you can just update it. Maybe there is a save event, world save event. Okay, there is. Sounds good. It looks like a new portion of the API. So maybe you can listen to the save event, and then sorry, you can just update this, and you can also store this using configuration. You can write it to your disk, the last save time, and then, you know, you can check it periodically. And if something bad happens, then you have these blocks. All right, I hope that helps. Thank you so much for the help. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. So I think that's it all for today. I don't see many people asking questions, and we are actually 7 people. Yeah, 2 people left. We were almost 10 people, which is really nice because I didn't announce the call. So apologize. So guys, one last question before I hop off. We have Matteo Guastella. We have Taco. We have, I'm just thinking if I should read your full names, guys, if you want to remain, you know, private. We have Ilvirt. Hi, hey guys, how you guys doing? A lot of new people actually. And we have Rules, or It's Ruler, and then we have Jack. So I spoke with Jack, I spoke with Real Cloud. I haven't heard anything from the rest of you guys. If you want to speak, then, or, you know, if you want to get unmuted, just type in I have a question and then ask your question that way. Or if you want to chat, then simply post a question in the chat, use the formatting, or you don't have to. I'll be more than happy to take one last question. So yeah, again, there is going to be a Valentine's sale if you haven't gotten to Project Orion, and if you want to learn more about Java, Spigot, Bucket, Paper Spigot, using Spigot as, you know, as like sort of the platform on building plugins, or if you want to use our own better quotes system. You can also check Project Orion. It has both. Project Orion has been updated. I think last course update happened, I think in January, although it was just minor. The last really big update happened around November last year, and I've added an entire part of the course on how to sell premium plugins and how to build yourself, how to get paid clients and stuff like that. That is also why I wanted to, continue on that today. And by the way, the course obviously is way more deeper than how this Q&A went. Seems like I made a typo. By the way, guys, I'm just waiting for questions. The reason that I'm talking about this is that I see no other questions in the chat. So if you guys want to check Project Orion, it is a really big course. You're going to get access to me twice per week. You're going to get access to the hub. You're going to get access to private stuff on our Discord. And also, obviously, going to get access to the to these modules. So core training is the part of the standard edition. And then Beyond and Systems Thinker and projects are part of the premium. And then mini games and premium resources are part of the platinum version. So let's say we're just going to take mini games as an example. Right? The way it works, you can schedule your own learning using the tools that I've talked about at the beginning of the call, the Warmap calendar. And then in your own time, when you have time, you can, for example, go right here. You can open up any video which you want. Everything is unlocked. You don't have to wait for anything. There's different sections of these videos. So there is blocks, region, world. So you can really split your learning so you don't get overwhelmed. That is also new. Before, in the last version of the course, we didn't have that. We had a gigantic video. People got overwhelmed. So this time I decided to make shorter videos. This one is only 16 minutes long. And you can see me. You can, have sort of like a closer connection because you can see me. You can also hear me, and you can see what's going on the screen, which is really nice. And I also do a lot of testing, so you're gonna see what is going on. By the way, which Minecraft release I use up to 1.19. The last update has to do with 1.19, specifically Mojang's mappings. That is for the NMS Advanced course, which is not a part of Project Orion. Project Orion, I think I recorded around 1.18/1.19, so everything works. The latest Minecraft version, everything is supported. If people message me, then I can just update a video or put notes right here below. By the way, also something that I love about this custom built portal that I made for you guys, you can take your own custom notes and you can interact with people here in the discussion. And the way it works is that I see, I see the comments here and I can just reply to them in the backend, right? So I see all of your stuff and no comment is going to be left unreplied to. And also we have the game source code. Obviously under every video you can get the source code of the exact changes that are happening. Plus you also see in the core training, or maybe it was module 1, you can actually get the full source code with all the updates as commits, so you can see line by line what is changed. And the building the ultimate game. Okay, I think it's in the core training though. But you guys get the point. So anyways, I'm looking at the chat. People had no questions since I started to speak. I think that pretty much we've ran out of things. Yeah, source code's right here. Also licensing. By the way, you're gonna get access to JetBrains premium software. You can apply right here. And I just hop and I send you the license via email very quickly. So that's that. There's a lot of cool stuff in Project Orion. Again, if you want to get in during the Valentine's sale, head over to mineacademy.org, scroll to the bottom, put your email there, and I'll send you a notification once the sales open. That is it for today's call. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I do hope that you also learned something new. I tried to do 95% learning, help you guys, and then 5% I promoted the course. So I hope that you appreciate the value of this call. And next time we're hanging out, it's going to be private again, just for our students. That will be Saturday, 6 p.m. time in Budapest. And then if you need to convert the time, just go to mineacademy.org/time. Put Budapest there, put your city there. It's going to tell you exactly what time that is in your local city. So again, guys, appreciate so much. Much love and happy weekend. Happy Valentine. Take care.